What is going on, my specialist SPC here, and welcome back to an all new episode of Tales of a Star Wars Fan. So, guys, today's guest is Star Wars Sith from the Star Wars Sith YouTube channel. How are you doing today, man?
Good, man. Good. Excited to be here, man. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, when I finally did the rebrand for this, you were definitely going to be one of the guys I for sure wanted to bring on because
Nice.
I mean, obviously we've talked a handful of times already about Star Wars. You know, you've been on my channel a couple times. I've been on your channel,
Yep.
so figured it's a nice little way to, I guess, for us to finally actually hear your Star Wars story because we've only talked very minimally about it.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just get right into the first question. What first got you into Star Wars?
So I know it started in the early 90s, and it started with this VHS box set. So this isn't the exact one that my dad had, but my dad had this same box set, and I used to watch this religiously in the 90s, like nonstop. So that's how it started. He got me into it because he was a Star Wars fan, and we had the tapes at home, so I'd watch them all the time. So that's where it began, and then it just continued and continued, especially when the Phantom Menace came out, and being able to see it in theaters, it was just unreal. And from there, it just kept getting bigger and bigger as more and more content came up. But it definitely was that started with my father, and then it eventually became like kind of like a family thing because both my brothers are into it. And then when we had that run in 2015 to 2019, like the 5 years straight, every Christmas without fail, we would go see Star Wars like as a family every Christmas for 5 years straight.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Especially too if you're able to share like something you love that much with your family. Like
Yeah.
that's definitely a meaningful thing.
No, yeah, it was for sure. But yeah, that's how it all began, man. Just VHS. And then, like, back in the day, sometimes it would come on the TV randomly. I would stop what I was doing right away, watch it every single time. Because that was like before internet days. So you didn't really have much to do or plan. So that's how it began for me, man.
What was the first movie you saw?
I'm I don't 100% remember, but I'm gonna have to guess it was A New Hope because that is one of my favorite films, and it's because it's what introduced Star Wars to me. So that was my first introduction to it was A New Hope. So I don't remember exactly like when or where I saw it, but it had to be probably on VHS at home, and it just that's what set it off. 100% was A New Hope. Yeah.
So then I guess what's the thing when you were watching these films that really like grabbed your attention that made you go like, okay, yeah, this is cool, and then you were like, wow, yep, I love this.
I guess it's just a combination of everything. Just it being in space battles, like that was just so cool. And then Darth Vader, of course, like who is this dude in this black suit? He's got a red lightsaber. And then when Luke gets his lightsaber, so the lightsaber stuff, and then even like the stormtroopers and all the stuff like that. It was just like a combination of everything. It just was so cool and so different. And like I hadn't seen or experienced anything like that before. So it's kind of like it was a combination of everything.
Okay. So then I guess going into the next question, what's your favorite thing about Star Wars?
Oh, so this is a tough one. I was kind of thinking about this because I watched your first one,
Mhm.
but like, I mean, there's so many like good things you could say. Everyone has their own preference, but for me, I'm greedy and selfish. It's the freaking lightsabers, bro. It's just something about the lightsabers, the colors, the sounds that it makes, how they all sound different depending on the color or
Mhm.
even the hilts. And the most important thing to me is the hilt. Like that hilt is so recognizable. Like you put it up, oh Vader, oh Kylo, oh Luke, oh Maul, like right away. So that's the one thing I like about it is how you can see a lightsaber hilt and right away you're gonna connect to a memory of oh there's Dooku's saber, oh there's Sidious's saber, and like something's gonna come to mind right away. even if you're at like Disney at the parks and you see the sabers there, like right away something's gonna flash in your mind a moment with that lightsaber. So that's probably the biggest thing for me. It's just the lightsabers, man. They're just so damn cool.
What is your favorite lightsaber?
That is a terrible question. Cause like I don't know, man. Oh, I never thought of it like that. I mean, I love Maul's dual saber. It's awesome. Savage's dual saber is insane as well. So that's a really, really unique one. But then like I have Obi-Wan and Anakin's from Revenge of the Sith, and like both of those two, like I mean, it's a timeless hilt for both of them because they're in so many different medias over the years and generations. But then, like when I see them, I think Revenge of the Sith right away, which is my favorite movie. So it's kind of hard, man. You can't just pick one hilt. It's so hard. What about you? What's your favorite hilt?
I'd have to honestly have to say probably Luke's from Return of the Jedi.
Nice, nice, nice.
'Cause, I mean, again, as a
Yeah.
guy who loves green, like obviously it's like the color
Mm,
of my channel and stuff, but like I don't know, it's just not even just like the color, but just the way it looks, and especially too how it's basically honoring, Obi-Wan, his first master, the first
yeah.
kind of close to a father figure he was able to have instead of his uncle after his uncle unfortunately got, burned alive by the Empire. So,
Yep.
I mean, then of course, obviously, Obi-Wan's, it's basically the same, but I mean, they're just two great iconic sabers. And obviously, still probably the most iconic lightsaber, though, is the Anakin slash Luke. And the cringe part here, and I'm about to say the Rey lightsaber,
Yeah, yeah.
but I will say this: I don't think there's really a bad lightsaber design. I'd say probably the weakest for me though would be Palpatine's.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's like a little limp, like like you think it'd be more like intricate and unique or something like Dooku's. Like Dooku's is insane.
Yeah, that's a unique one, and I mean, obviously too, all over the course of Star Wars, whether you look at Legends or video games or whatever, there's been
Yeah.
really different iconic sabers. I mean,
Oh
the
yeah.
dark saber literally looks like a sword. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Inquisitors too. The Inquisitor saber is sick too. The dual spinning, like that's just crazy, man.
yeah, it was weird. I was having a talk with my brother the other day because he just played Fallen Order for the first time, and I think he just beat it. So like I was
Uh-huh.
telling him about the Inquisitor's lightsabers, and I was telling him about in Rebels how they literally use them as like a
To
little helicopter.
helicopter. Yep.
And he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it's kind of lame, but it's kind of entertaining." I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I I don't. I do like the Inquisitor's lightsabers, though. I mean, that's even one thing too I liked about Visions. I mean, like they did
Oh
so many different looks of like lightsabers. Like
yes.
I'll be honest. I guess I don't know if what you thought, but like when I was watching the Bandits of Golak, this from this latest season,
Uh-huh.
the little like flute that the girl was playing, I don't know why. Like I thought maybe like secretly it was a lightsaber the whole time.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Turns out it was not. It was just a flute.
Yeah, yeah. But even in Visions, like Ronin's lightsaber, how it's like the ninja samurai sword that just comes out, and how he had two of them different lengths, like just so unique.
And even the female Sith with hers almost looking like an
Oh,
umbrella at the
umbrella. Yeah, somebody at London Celebration cosplayed like that, and they had like a lightsaber like thing like that. It was insane, insane.
I will still say, like, over the last few days, I've been on like a huge. I don't like to word it like this, but it's the only word I can use. I've been on like a Visions high lately, like
Uh huh.
because I binged the whole series. I got done with it. I just got done raking it here a couple days ago. Dropped the video yesterday,
Nice.
and man, yeah, it's. I'll say, spoiler free. I thought Visions Volume 2 was a bit of a step down compared to
Yeah,
the first volume.
yeah. I haven't even finished the second one, but like from I've seen most of it. Yeah, I think I enjoyed the first one better than this one. So no, for sure.
Still, Still excited for the future revisions, though.
Oh, of course.
I hope. I just wish they would pick one story though and go with that as a season.
Yeah, like in this second season, the first one and the fifth one, I want more of those stories so much.
The fifth one for me, man, that was hands down the best episode of Volume 2 for me.
Yeah, I think that was too. Between that and the first one, but I just want more of both of those stories.
Well, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. Maybe it will eventually happen.
Yeah, who knows?
So I know at one point in time I asked you this question, so I kind of already know maybe what your answer is going to be, but who is your favorite Star Wars character?
So easy, Darth Maul. So it's been Darth Maul. Well, I mean, it fluctuates between Maul, Anakin, and Boba, but consistently it's Maul. And it just started back in the 90s, man. Back in 99, 98, when that trailer dropped, seeing him on screen, he just looked so menacing. Seeing the dual saber for the first time, which blew me away. And then, so then fast forward to 2015 or 20, when did Solo come out?
2018.
2018, damn. So 2018, I didn't know Maul was alive still. So when I saw Solo and Maul popped up, I'm like, what? So then I Googled it and I'm like, Dave Filoni brought him back in Clone Wars. So I binged Clone Wars. I fell in love with the character even more because he had so much depth, so much backstory, such a badass. And then I started watching Rebels and I'm like, there's more Maul in Rebels. Seeing Maul trying to turn Ezra, him still hunting down Kenobi. It's just his story is just so crazy. And then when they release season 7 of Clone Wars, the arc with Maul in those last 4 episodes, which is basically means he was running around during Revenge of the Sith, but with Ahsoka and Rex and everyone else, like to see that, like, man, I'm just huge Darth Maul fan, bro.
Yeah, especially when, like, obviously, like you said, you know, when he came to screen during Phantom Menace, like his look, his lightsaber, I mean, the choreography just in that lightsaber duel is iconic. And then they, again, I guess now, quote unquote, killed him in the film. So it's like, oh, okay. Like, and then, then Dave Filoni brings him back in season 4 of Clone Wars. He's just this deranged, psychotic spider creature, and his brother goes to find him, and then he meets up with the Night Sister and turns back, I guess, to for him, I guess, would be normal, I guess we'll say. But I mean, he hands down has one of the best character arcs in all Star Wars.
Oh, no, for sure. Like, for sure. And like even that first fight in Phantom Menace, Duel of the Fates, that's probably my favorite Star Wars music score song ever. Like I could just ride around listening to that and it just gets you so pumped.
Has anybody ever ruined it for you? Because I know I watched a video of like this person, they wrote down like lyrics.
Oh yeah, I see the video where they're like Honda, Toyota, and like they're like reading like random words.
Yeah,
that blows my mind. Like, is like that's real? Like that's just so crazy to me. I've seen that though.
I don't know why I laugh at the beginning. Corn on the cob.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, what? And then you listen to it more. It's like I'm never gonna unhear this. This is engraved in my skull now. This is terrible. Why?
Yeah, I've seen that. It's pretty funny. It's so random.
I guess what would be your favorite? I mean, I think you already said. What would be your favorite like Darth Maul moment out of everything?
Oh, snap. Darth Maul moment. Oh. Well, that's a good one. So it's gonna have to be something animated because there wasn't enough of him in Phantom Menace, man. There was not enough. I mean, him killing Qui-Gon is pretty epic because that set the whole Skywalker saga into the way it became. Because if that wouldn't have happened, who knows what would have happened if Qui-Gon would have been alive and training Anakin? Maybe he wouldn't have turned. Like, who knows what we would have got? But I would have to say probably in Clone Wars. I mean, it was crazy when he killed, spoilers, when he killed Satine. That was just so messed up. But I would say that's my favorite moment. That's just like a gruesome moment. But I think just like the whole arc with on Mandalore with him fighting Ahsoka and him just sitting on the throne and him trying to convert Ahsoka to join him to fight Palpatine. I think that whole moment there is probably my favorite with Maul. Cause like imagine if Ahsoka would have like helped him and they would have tried to fight Palpatine together. How crazy would that have been?
Oh man. I mean, even just that whole scene, it's so cinematic because like he reaches out his
Yeah,
hands,
yeah,
the
yeah.
glass explodes and there's ashes and
Yes.
glass flying around, and
Slow motion angle. Yeah.
you're like, oh my god, no, there's no way. Obviously, of course,
Yeah.
Ahsoka doesn't, obviously, but I
Yeah.
mean, and of course, obviously, they reference it a bit in the Rebels when they find him on.
That Sith planet. I forgot what it's called. Um it's not Malachor.
Yeah, Malachor. That's what
Is
it is.
Malachor? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I,
Okay, okay.
I wanted to say Mandalore. I'm like, that is definitely not right there. But like, it was great to actually like get to see the moment now of like the last time they saw each other. Like, oh, the Padawan has returned.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I know we've talked about this before, but like, I still really want to see like because there's still big gaps in
Oh
Maul's
my god.
story.
Yes.
Obviously after Clone Wars, like where does he go? How does he get on Malachor? How does he become the leader of Crimson Dawn?
Yes.
There's still so many huge chunks. Obviously, you can fill it in with like some comics too of like early years of Darth Maul, but
Yeah.
to me, man, I think that is one thing we terribly need if they're gonna do another like Disney Plus show, whether it be animated, whether it be live action. We need a Darth Maul story. Whether they decide to stop doing Tales of the Jedi after this and do Tales of the Sith, maybe just
Yeah.
do a whole season of Darth Maul.
I would love it. The story I want to see the most is what happened between Darth Maul and Darth Vader in between Clone Wars season 7 and Rebels. Because when he shows up in Rebels, when Vader shows up in Rebels, Maul is terrified and he leaves so quick. So I want to know what happened and see. Did they work together? Did Vader try to kill Maul? Did Maul try to kill Vader and Vader just whipped his ass? Like, I want to see so bad that story because it would be epic. On my last podcast I recorded with Jesse from Kyberphonic, he asked me, he was like, he's saying that him and his buddy were talking about they want to see a Darth Maul versus Darth Vader movie. And I'm like, yo, that's exactly what I want because I want to know what happened between the two of them that Maul is terrified of Vader.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can assume. Like maybe Vader sent some other Inquisitors after him or
Yeah.
something, and they were like, "Yeah, he's too powerful for us. Okay, leave it to me." There's obviously something. Again, like just in general, there's still so much more story for Maul that we can get. Obviously Sam Witwer, the guy who voices Darth
Yep.
Maul in Clone Wars and Rebels. It's very obvious he's very attached to his character.
Oh yeah.
We've seen the end of Maul. We know how he ultimately perishes, but it's
Yeah.
just the huge gaps. Like even to like how did he survive at the end of Phantom Menace? Now, how did he get to that junk planet to?
With the robot legs, yeah.
Yeah, with the
I
legs.
would
How
love
did
to see that.
like
I would
like
also love to see how he got the nickname the Shadow, because when the Inquisitors found him in Rebels, they were like, the Shadow, he exists. So like, how did that happen? Like they call him the Shadow.
I don't know why. Like my favorite Darth Maul line is formerly Darth, now just Maul. Like
Maul, yeah,
when he says that, I'm like,
yeah,
oh
yes.
man,
What fun? Yes, yes.
he's gonna
Oh,
he's gonna mess you guys up hard.
yep. Oh yeah, yes.
Like I'll even say it, man. I'm surprised. Like with watching Clone Wars and obviously still finishing up Rebels, I still have the last 5 episodes to watch. Man, I've been slacking so hard to get done with that show, but He's made his way into my top 10 favorite characters in
Oh
Star
yeah,
Wars history. With
yeah,
again, with just the stories that they've done with him, the character arcs, and again, man, Sam Witwer with his phenomenal voice acting.
yeah.
Like how can you not like Darth Maul at this point now? Like he is probably one of the best villains in all of Star Wars. I honestly, I'd put him like right underneath Vader and the Emperor.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, hands down, 100%. So in September, Sam Witwer is going to be at Ocala Comic Con here in Florida. So I'm going to go get some autographs from him. And when I go, I'm going to ask him that question that I'm dying to know. Because I know for a fact, in his mind, when he was reading the script and saw how Maul was scared of Vader and left, he probably made up a backstory in his mind. So I want to ask him, why do you think Maul is scared of Darth Vader in Rebels? Just to see what he says, because he's Maul himself.
Man, that'd be an awesome. If you could record that and get that as a video, that would be. Oh my
I know,
god!
I know. That'd be
I bet.
sick.
I bet you're
So
like.
sick.
I bet you're like. Can I record you saying all this? Because
I'll ask too. And like I'm going both days, so I'm gonna get an autograph both days. And I'm just gonna ask him the same thing both days. Be like, bro, let me record it, please. Please.
please, I'll pay you. I'll give you extra money.
Yeah.
Just come on, man.
Yeah, just because that'd be so epic to share that knowledge with everyone. Cause like I'm just so curious on that question, man.
I mean, he's not afraid to say because I mean he's obviously a huge fan because
Yeah, yeah.
I watched it. Well, I guess I more listened to it. It was just a bunch of pictures, but I listened to an interview with him talking about Return of the Jedi because for whatever reason, it seems like out of the three of the trilogy, Return of the Jedi doesn't get like the love that I personally think it should get. Like it's in my top
Yeah.
5 favorite Star Wars films of all time, but he's like talking about how Vader ultimately turns back to the light side and turns against the Emperor, and how Luke is helping him, and he also just recently was very vocal about his thoughts on the Last Jedi too,
Yeah.
which all the respect in the world to the guy. I mean, the guy knows, like, he has huge Star Wars now. I would love to get him on here to talk to him for like an hour, just to get
Oh,
his,
I know. That'd be so cool.
because again, the guy has got knowledge. He obviously loves the franchise. He's not afraid to tell Dave like, oh no, that's not how that's supposed to go, and this is how it should be because this is what you set up back in this episode, and it's like the passion is there, man. Like that's another thing, just the passion he has for Darth Maul. Like it also elevates Darth Maul being a better character.
Yeah, and even he corrected on the set for Solo. They almost were going to use like the wrong lightsaber, so he corrected while they were filming. Like, no, he doesn't have that lightsaber anymore. It got cut in half in the Phantom Menace. So he had to explain to them what he was like. You either have two options, either this one or this one, because of this from Clone Wars or because of this from Rebels. So he gave them two options, and they went with I think more the Rebels one with the like the curve on the hilt. And then when they were filming Clone Wars, Sam Witwer corrected Filoni because Filoni slipped up because he was going to make a scene, something with Anakin and Padme talking about how Anakin was going to say to Padme, I want you to meet my mother. And Sam Witwer was like, we have to do this all over. And Dave was like, why? He's like, because they already met. They had food together in the Phantom Menace. And Dave was like, oh, you're right. So, yeah, man, that's pretty crazy, man. He's a legend.
Yeah, I mean, obviously too, it's no surprise if nobody knows. Spoiler alert, but he's also Star Killer. So I mean,
Yeah.
obviously that's another role that he was very passionate about, and I mean, he definitely put in a great performance, at least in the first game. I didn't get very far in the first game, and I know there's a second game, but I heard it's not anywhere near as great as the original.
Yeah.
So, but good little talk about Darth Maul.
Oh yeah.
I've just like you, man. Like seeing him on screen, and like I wanted everything Darth Maul I could find.
Everything.
I
Everything.
I still remember when KFC had all that stuff there. Like they had like the toys there, they had the collectible cups with like the figure on the top.
So you can't see it, but this DTOF right here is all Darth Maul. And that KFC cup with the topper is up here. And down here, I have the box that the little toy came in, the little toy of him on the speeder, which is somewhere in there. But this whole DTOF, everything in there's Darth Maul. 100% Darth Maul. Yeah. Yeah.
I unfortunately don't have many Darth Maul things. I have 2 pops. I have the one from Rebels when he first pops up, where he's got all the tattoos and he's not wearing the shirt. And
yeah.
The other one I have, the wife, she went to Arizona and she went to this big Funko store and she's like, "Oh, what Funko do you want?" And I saw Darth Maul there with, I think he has, I don't even remember anymore. Wow. Oh, yeah, he does. Okay, he's got the Darksaber in his hand.
Oh, nice.
I was like, that one
yes.
right there. Grab that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it was between him or Michael Myers, because, man, Michael Myers, my favorite horror icon. I love Halloween, but I'm like, I don't have a lot of Darth Maul stuff.
Yeah.
And I have the 2 of the original toys when they came out. I have Darth Maul just without his hood, and then I also have Darth Maul like with his hood on when he attacks Qui-Gon in the desert. Like,
yeah.
Man, I'll say it again. I won't care though, but I need more Darth Maul. Like,
me too. Even in the video game, like, have him pop up in a video game. Like, come on, something.
Because unfortunately, man, the internet kind of spoiled a little bit of Survivor for me. But like, I kind of wish that cameo could have been Maul. I mean, it would have been cool to try and see Maul maybe seduce Cal Kestis.
Yeah, like just like on the first one, that one guy, I forgot his name, on Dathomir. Like, we could have got a cameo like that. I forgot his name.
Terran Malicos.
Yeah, Malicos. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, like, it could have been another thing like that where he went back to Dathomir and Maul was there or somewhere. Like, it would have been so cool if they would have did that.
Maybe he was like down there, where rebuilding his double-bladed lightsaber and turns around. Oh,
yeah,
a Jedi.
What fun!
Oh. Let's champion this, man. # more Darth Maul.
I know. Please.
So you also brought up Boba Fett. That one intrigues me because I
love Boba, even though the Book of Boba kind of ruined Boba in a way, taking away his like manliness, him being like the baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy. Because I kind of blank out parts of that when I think Boba Fett. So I think OG trilogy Boba Fett. I think Boba in Mando season 2, because that Boba was peak Boba. When he got his armor back, he's shooting rockets out of the knees. He's smashing stormtroopers with a gaffy stick. Like, that's the Boba I expected in all of Book of Boba. But that's not what we got. But still, regardless, I still give him the respect. Like, he's still that dude.
And your other one was Anakin?
Yeah, man. Anakin. Freaking Anakin. I love Anakin, man. Light side and dark side. Probably more dark side, though. Because when he got the Sith eyes, it was so crazy, man.
I mean, obviously, too, he becomes probably the most iconic villain or even just movie character in all of cinema. With his progression, man. I mean, that's another character arc. I mean, the best character arc in Star Wars. I'll say it boldly.
Yeah. And it's not even done yet, because we're supposed to get more of him in Ahsoka show. So we might get some intense flashbacks of him in Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith armor, talking to Ahsoka. Or what I want, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but in my mind, I assume this right away. I hope in the Ahsoka show we get a flashback of Ahsoka meeting Luke for the first time, and then Luke telling Ahsoka that my father redeemed himself. And then we get a Force Ghost Hayden coming in, "Hey, Snips," and like, oh God, just the tears would just drop right away if that happened. Because like, when we see Ahsoka in Mando, she already knows Luke, which I'm like, that's crazy. And she was like, "You're so much like your father," which that line is ridiculous, like amazing. But like, how did they meet? And when she met him, like, how do they know, like, hey, I'm the son of Anakin. Hey, I'm the Padawan of Anakin. Like, I want to see that interaction so bad.
I mean, even too, man, I don't know if it's true. I think we've talked about this, or you've talked about it in a video before, but we're supposedly supposed to have Ahsoka go through the the world between worlds. Wow, I almost said
Yep.
realm between realms. Wow, I got a little bit of God of War in my mind too for whatever reason, but supposedly we're supposed to get her possibly going to Mustafar and possibly getting her versus Anakin, which
Instead of Obi-Wan. Yeah. She's gonna see like a supposedly like a flashback of that, and it's supposed to be a different actress that's a younger version of her, because like she was still Snips back then. She was younger. So that would blow my mind, period. Just seeing Hayden in his Revenge of the Sith armor fighting a younger Ahsoka. But what would make it even more crazier is if that younger Ahsoka, I think they have an actress for her, but if they had Ashley Eckstein voice it, that way when she talked, it'd be the freaking Clone Wars Ahsoka voice, which would be crazy. And they could do it because they did that in Solo, because that was Maul was Ray Park's body, but Sam Witwer was talking. So they could do it in a flashback fighting scene.
yeah, I mean, and I think too though with Ahsoka, I feel like if I don't know if they're gonna just do it as just like a fun flashback kind of thing, or if they're gonna actually maybe change a little bit of history, kind of like what Flash does, like when he goes back in time, kind of messes with some things,
Oh,
messes
yeah.
things up. Like I feel like Ahsoka could be the one to like make Anakin really think, like, you know, what a, as he says iconically after Mace Windu dies.
What have I done?
Like,
Yeah.
can I be redeemed? I mean, obviously, we get that scene where he's standing there on that little bridge on Mustafar with that tear going down his eye.
Yes.
Like,
oh, and the music. Oh, I can hear it now. Oh. Man, Ahsoka is gonna be crazy, man. So crazy.
I don't know why, but when I saw Ray Donovan, is that the guy who's playing the male Sith Lord in that show?
I think so, yeah.
Like the way he's like doing his like blocking and
Oh,
everything and
that
doing the
guy,
force
yeah.
choke, I was like, man, I'm getting such huge vibes of Vader.
The hallway scene, yeah. Yep. No,
Even
for
like,
sure.
and even like his glove kind of reminds me of like Episode 3 Anakin with that long glove he's got on the entire movie.
Yeah, yep. I bet Filoni did stuff like that on purpose to make it seem familiar but new at the same time.
Dave Filoni.
It's a genius.
He's a genius, but he's also like, here, you want this? You want this? Yes, I do. Give it to me. No, you gotta catch it.
Oh man.
So the last two more, I would say honestly, the more important questions for you. The first one, what's your favorite Star Wars moment?
Wow, this is probably one of the hardest questions ever. But I mean, I should pick something from the movies or even the animated because there's so much good stuff. But I'm gonna stick to Mando season 2 when we got Luke Skywalker, because like I can't think of a time in my life when I've had a feeling like that. And it's rare when something gets you so emotional. Like I remember it like it was yesterday, sitting in my living room watching it 3 a.m, because that's I woke up to watch it. And then when you see the X-Wing come in, and I'm like, no. And like nothing leaked. This was like one of the best kept secrets besides Baby Yoda from season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing leaked. So, I mean, there was always theories on maybe Luke will show up. Maybe it's Cal Kestis. Maybe it's Ezra. These are the only Jedis that are around. So the X-Wing came in, and then you see on the monitor someone walking in with a hood up, right? And I'm like, well, is that Ahsoka? Because I'm like, it looked kind of slim and slender. I'm like, is that Ahsoka? But then when you see the green saber and then the black leather glove and you hear the lightsaber, you're like, no. And then the hood's still covering it, and he's just murking all the dark troopers like nothing. And then when he finally comes in and takes it off and you hear the music, that moment was like, oh my God, like wow. And then to top it off, like Mando took his mask off. They got super emotional with Grogu. And then R2 came. I didn't expect R2. That made me so happy. I never thought we would see R2 and Baby Yoda there together. And that scene where they go back to the elevator and Luke freaking Skywalker is holding Baby Yoda in the elevator with R2. Like, if you would have shown me that picture a year ago, oh, Photoshop, that's never going to happen ever. So that moment is so epic. And like, because of that, I think it was too good. Because then Mando season 3, we're like, okay, we need to get something better than that. So your expectations are so high because, like, oh, you have to beat that. Like, nothing's gonna beat that. Maybe if they would have brought back like Mace Windu, that would have been that level. But like, honestly, it's gonna be a long time till we get a moment like that where it's that Luke Skywalker level hitting you in the feels, unexpected. And on top of that, that's also the Luke that I wanted in the sequel trilogy. Like, I wanted that version of Luke, prime Luke, old man Luke, like that, kicking ass in the sequels. So yeah, it was a lot of emotions out of that scene, man. A lot.
Well, yeah, and just like you brought up, I mean, obviously, a lot of people did not like the representation of Luke in The Last Jedi. I'm one of few people. It honestly didn't bother me all that much. I
Uh-huh.
obviously when I first saw it, I was really mixed on the film, but over time I've come to really like it, and I'm somebody, I think it makes a lot of sense, why Luke wants the Order to, basically end, because I mean,
Yeah.
as he says, at the height of their power, Darth Sidious was able to overthrow the Jedi. I mean, he hits it on the head. I mean, because
Yeah.
back then they weren't like, oh, look, the Force will just guide us. No, it's the politics. Like, politics should not be the Jedi way. They should live by the way that Qui-Gon lives. And
Yeah.
I, again, I liked Luke. Obviously, I was the same way with you, man. Like, the whole time I'm like, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, yeah, I saw, like you said, like the black glove, the hilt of the lightsaber, and just that hum. Like, I knew that
That
hum.
hum. That
I'm
hum.
like,
Yes.
I know that. I know that hum. I know that lightsaber. And yeah, like, I did the same thing. He came through with such a cinematic, amazing like entrance he made, coming through that fog with the saber,
Yep.
putting it away. And when he took off that hood and you see that young Mark Hamill face,
Oh.
dude, I bawled. Like,
Yeah.
no matter how many times I've seen the clip, I still get that same emotion rewatching that scene every single time.
I'm getting that feeling right now thinking about it. I think after this, I'm gonna have to watch that scene. Like, oh yeah. I mean, when have we got something like that in Star Wars? It's like it's rare to be that caught off guard and that happy at the same time. Cause it's like everybody loves Luke and that version of Luke and didn't expect that.
Yeah, I mean, that is prime for a lot of people. Again, peak Luke Skywalker. I mean, like that. When you think of Luke Skywalker, this is the version you think of.
The second closest time I had a feeling kind of like that, but it was short lived because it was a short moment, was at the end of Kenobi seeing Qui Gon. Because like the show was done and like we hadn't had Qui Gon, so I'm like, oh, we're not gonna get him. But then when we got that little bit of Qui Gon, and he was like, I've been waiting for you long enough. Let's go. Like it just, oh, that moment hit so hard too because I didn't expect it. I kind of expected, but didn't expect it, especially at the end. But yeah, that put me in the feels too.
Man, in regards to Kenobi, I had that feeling during the conversation between Obi-Wan and Vader at the end of their duel when he breaks off that half of his mask and
Yeah. Oh,
like, I
yeah.
failed you, Anakin.
Yeah.
I'm not your failure, Obi-Wan. It goes
Yes.
back and forth between James Earl Jones and Hayden.
Yes.
And
Beautiful.
you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. And then he turns that Sith eye back and it's red. I did. Like,
Yes.
oh, oh, oh,
That,
oh, oh.
yeah, that's up there too. Yeah.
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 I have the unpopular opinion. I loved Obi-Wan. I love the show. I give it a 4. Biggest
Yeah.
problem is Reva. That I
No,
will never
100%.
deny.
Yeah.
I would never deny that they tried to replicate. Wow, words are hard again today. They tried to replicate Trilla from Jedi Fallen Order, and they
loved
failed.
Trilla. I love Trilla. I wish it would have been Trilla. Like, get that same actress. We know her. Like, well, I guess Vader killed her in the game, whatever. But yeah, I loved Trilla, man. I didn't love Reva. I probably would have loved Reva if she would have been in another show, because her story's kind of cool. Like, she survived Order 66. She became an Inquisitor. Like, that concept's dope in itself. But like, throw that in Andor or somewhere else where they need a little bit more lightsaber to zhuzh it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And even too with that scene, man. I mean, obviously, when it comes back around, the ultimate moment, in my opinion, of this moment of Vader getting his helmet removed.
Oh yeah, I still have to go grab that pop. Oh, it's so dope.
I saw it yesterday. I'm like, yep, that's mine. Not even hesitating to grab it.
Yeah.
But like, Obi-Wan breaks off this half of the mask, and Ahsoka breaks off this half of the mask, but
yep,
Luke is the only one who is able to fully get Anakin back. So
yep.
I love that they did that, because not only was that just a huge nod back to Rebels when Ahsoka and Vader are fighting there on Malachor, but it's just, I guess in a weird way, a foreshadowing though too.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I ever really talked about it though. Like, my overall favorite moment in Star Wars is probably when Yoda lifts the X-Wing out, because just that beautiful music, man. Like, it's just,
yeah.
That's always the moment that stands out to me the most in Star Wars. Because number one, Yoda's my favorite character in all of Star Wars. His lines, his wisdom has helped me in my life personally. So that's always been something that's, been great. It's why I love Yoda to death. And just that music, man, like, it's just, it's beautiful, man. John Williams.
Oh yeah, John Williams is, man, he is a treasure. He is a treasure, man. Like, my whole childhood is because of him. Star Wars, Jaws, E.T., Jurassic Park too, right? Harry Potter. This man did everything.
Yeah, like
everything.
Indiana Jones.
Oh, how can I forget that? One of the best.
Yes. I just recently became a pretty big fan of the Indiana Jones series.
Oh, I love it.
My first ever Indiana Jones was in theaters. It was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh, that's the worst one to start with.
I know, but I'll willingly say I like it more than The Last Crusade. I know that's unpopular, but I mean, my favorite's Temple of Doom, man.
Yeah.
I love that one. It's so good.
Yes, man. I love all those old school films, man. Indiana Jones, Back to the Future. Oh, yes. Love it, man. The nostalgia, like, yeah.
I'll willingly say, man, I think that's also one reason why I love The Force Awakens so much, is because I'm not only just the nostalgia, but like still being on, like, the topic of Star Wars moments. Like, even sometimes I'm putting videos together, like when I did my favorite moments from each film, like just going back and capturing that footage of whatever I chose.
Yeah.
Every time I watch The Force Awakens, man, I get the same reaction, the same emotions all over again. Like, just seeing Rey, Finn, and BB-8 go towards the Falcon, and you hear that Han Solo theme. Like,
oh yeah, that I remember the feeling in the theater when I saw the Falcon. I'm like, yo, and then when Han and Chewie get on there, and Han's like, Chewie, we're home. Like, that just hit so hard.
Yeah, that's. I will only say, man, The Force Awakens, it's my second favorite Star Wars film. It's overtaken Revenge of the Sith. I still hold Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. I still hold Revenge of the Sith so close to my heart. It's great. I love it. And I guess since we're on the topic, because I already know what it is, what's your favorite Star Wars film, man?
Revenge of the Sith, baby. So it's always been Revenge of the Sith. That's my number one. And it's just, the movie is just, it's crazy. And it's rare when you go into a movie and you know what has to happen at the end, but getting to see the journey of it going there. And I just remember seeing it like it was yesterday. It was 2005. It was a midnight show on Thursday that we saw, because back then you had to go to the theaters at midnight. None of it how it is now, like 5, 6, 7 p.m. the day before. No, Thursday at midnight, so it's Friday. We saw the first show, and it just was so cool. And then I didn't expect to see Luke and Leia at the end, and just the whole like duel on Mustafar was just epic. And there's just so many dope lines from that movie, so many memes. This is where the fun begins. It's just so classic, this movie. So that's why it's my favorite. Like whenever I'm in a bad mood, you could just watch that and you'll feel good. And every time you watch it, you're like, oh, come on, Anakin, don't turn. Like, come on. Like you want him to stay with Padme and not necessarily go to the dark side, but yeah, man, Revenge of the Sith without a doubt.
I could only say for a while, especially after the movie came out and like the lead up to the film and everything, it definitely was my favorite for a few years. My favorite's still Empire. I think it's a flawless film. I think it's a masterpiece. It's my second favorite film of all time, behind the original Jurassic Park. That's still my favorite film of all time. But I mean, like you said, man, like it's just the steps to get to see how Anakin becomes Darth Vader.
Yep.
Obviously, the way they handled it might not have worked entirely for a lot of people. I mean, I definitely like it enough for it not really to bother me too much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, it's the film that has the most action out of any of the films. It's got the most lightsaber action. It's got the darkest moments, like, of all of Star Wars. Like
the younglings. I forgot about the younglings.
Yes. The very sad, dark Order 66. Like, man, as a 12-year-old kid sitting there in the theater next to my dad, like watching that, I even looked at him. I'm like, he's killing kids. He's like, yeah, he's Darth Vader. I'm like, I mean, I know I'm the diehard fan between you and me, but how are you just so casual about this? He's killing kids. Like,
it's Vader.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, he's Darth Vader now. That's how I look at it. Like, truly, like after he turns against Mace Windu, cuts off his hand, that's Darth Vader. Because people are like, what's your favorite lightsaber duel? Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader. They're like, the one from A New Hope. I'm like, no, from Revenge of the Sith. Oh, you mean Obi-Wan Anakin? I'm like, that's not Anakin at that point anymore.
Yeah.
Anakin is long gone.
Yep. 100%.
Like,
yeah.
I have a bit of a quiz / a challenge for you.
Oh, let's go. I love it.
Can you recite Anakin's whole speech against Obi-Wan?
Oh, no. But if I had that mug, you seen that mug that has all the initials of all the words?
Just has the letters on it?
Yeah. If I had, oh, no, I can't, bro. I can't. I haven't watched Revenge of the Sith in a little bit, too. Oh, man. Your new empire? Oh, man. There's so many classic lines in that. No, I can't recite the whole thing, though. If I had the mug, though, I could get it off of that. Because every time, like, I see, like, a meme and they show the mug and they have the scene above it, I'm, like, saying it right before he's saying it. But, like, off top right now, no, man. Epic fail. I need to order that mug today.
There you go. I think I remember, like, most of it. It's like, I brought peace, justice, and security to my new empire. Your new empire. Don't make me kill you. Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. If you are not with me, then you are my enemy. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must. You will try. Holy hell, I remember the whole thing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you got it.
Wow. I'm impressed with myself. I'm kind of scared.
Nice. Wow. Nice.
It's came to me right now, man. Like, and that's the other thing in regards to Revenge of the Sith I've come to love about the last handful of installments of Disney Star Wars is like they're expanding a lot on like Revenge of the Sith, like expanding on Order 66.
Yeah, I love it, and I hate it. Not that I hate it, it's that I want more. Like the last thing we just got when Keller and Beck saved Grogu, I wanted more. Like, come on, like seeing them get the younglings of Kelleran, seeing the in the temple, take Grogu to the elevator. Ahmed Best takes him. The gunships chasing him. I was like, yo, those are gunships. The live action clone troopers, which that's a new thing because they never were live action back then. It was all CGI.
Yep.
And then like he sped off, but we all know for a fact that he loses Grogu. So we should, in some piece of media, get another scene, maybe where he loses Grogu or something happens, because he doesn't stay there.
It's true. I mean, also again, we keep coming back to it, but Jedi Fallen Order. I mean, that whole Order 66
Level
scene,
was amazing.
getting that iconic music of when Order 66 is happening,
Yeah.
and Bad Batch, Bad Batch, man,
That first episode, yep.
that first episode, and like big chunks of the season. I mean, it's just barely taking place a little bit after Revenge of the Sith, and even getting the scene where all the clones are there and you get to hear the Emperor's speech while he's there, and it's the same speech from Revenge of the Sith right after he gets attacked, after Order 66 is all over.
Yeah. And even in Kenobi, we got the flashbacks of Order 66 with young Riva, and then Hayden walking up with the 501st. I have a feeling, man. I mean, it seems like every show they're flashbacking to Order 66. So I have a feeling in Ahsoka we'll get something, because supposedly that one night guy that was doing the thing with the saber, Balin, I think his name is.
Mhm.
Supposedly he's an Order 66 survivor that went to the New Beyond and turned gray Jedi. So if that's the case, maybe we'll see his flashback of him surviving and leaving, or something like that. Maybe.
I mean, the obvious one too, another one we keep coming back to, man. But then last 4 episodes of Clone Wars,
Beautiful.
You worded it best, I think, when we were on your show on Sith Talk. Was it's basically Revenge of the Sith 2.0.
100%. Yeah. Seeing Order 66 from a different perspective, and like Maul was locked up in the chamber and he knew it was coming, and then Ahsoka almost getting taken out by all the troopers, and then Rex holding back and not killing her. Oh, so epic. So epic, man.
And even too, Ahsoka standing there and she hears Hayden's voice,
Hayden and
hears
Samuel
Sam
Jackson.
hearing that whole scene, and you're like,
don't do it, Anakin. Oh my god.
You're hearing all of it. You're like, no way.
That blew me away. That was a moment right there, because nobody expected to hear the live action actors' voices in the animated show. Like, what?
I guess I have to ask, did you get the luxury when you were growing up? Did you get to play the Revenge of the Sith video game?
No, I didn't. I have it here on Game Boy Advance, but I didn't play it. But I heard, didn't the game come out before the movie and it kind of spoiled some stuff in the movie, or the game has like an alternate ending or something like that?
It does spoil quite a bit of the film. I waited till after the film came out to get the game, because I didn't want to. Even as a kid, I didn't want to ruin the film for me. But
nice.
There is an alternate ending. The duel between Vader and Obi-Wan. You play as Anakin, and Obi-Wan dies. You get to jump behind him, stab him. Then you go back and talk to the Emperor. He's like, your new weapon gives you a red-bladed lightsaber. It's just a full gray version of Vader's lightsaber, basically. So
yeah.
And then he tosses it in the air, ignites it, kills the Emperor, and he says, I'm your new Emperor now. And you're like,
damn.
What? Really? Really? Okay.
Damn, so if people played that, they probably went into the movie expecting to see that.
Yeah, because after you beat the full game, they have, I think it's 10 different side missions you can play as random characters. I know in one of them you get to play as Yoda in the temple alongside Obi-Wan, killing all the clone troopers. And the very last one is the Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan fight on the Death Star. That's the very last side mission thing you get to play.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, of course, with that game, they expand a lot of different things. I'm sure you've seen it, the deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith where Obi-Wan and Anakin are basically in a sewer on the Invisible Hand, Grievous' ship.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
Yeah, there's a whole mission where you're down there just killing battle droids, and obviously, of course, they highly expand Order 66, where Anakin goes to the temple. You know, you're killing Jedi left and right. You face Sindralig. I guess I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah. That's Nick Gillard as the Jedi in the temple.
Yeah, he's fighting Anakin in the hologram.
Yeah.
But before that, you face his apprentice, and I think her name is like Sarah or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you fight her. She has 2 green lightsabers. She kind of fights. She's almost essentially, her fighting style and everything's kind of like Ahsoka.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then yeah, you face off against Sindralig after that. So like it's huge expansion on Order 66, man. Yeah, I played mine on PS2, and I'll say it's probably my 3rd favorite Star Wars game of all time. Like I love that game so much nostalgia for it.
Yeah. It's the nostalgia for sure.
So good. Well, all right. That is going to do it here for this episode of Tales of a Star Wars Fan. I want to thank Tony from Star Wars Sith for coming on and being the guest today, man. I really appreciate you coming on and coming and telling your Star Wars story.
No, thanks for having me, man. This was a blast. I appreciate it, man.
And you want to share anything? Any plugs you want to throw out or anything?
So, not a whole lot right now. I've been streaming a lot of Jedi Survivor lately, and then every Friday my podcast comes out, a new episode of Sith Talk. So that's pretty much it that I got going on right now. Until the new shows come out, then I'll be reacting to Ahsoka in August, which I'm gonna have a box of tissues nearby just in case, because it's gonna be real deep and emotional.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping I get to go down to Texas to go hang out with Andy and his buddy Brandon. We're talking to them on the Celebration podcast, but because I think we want to react to the first episode of Ahsoka together. So
Oh, that'll be epic. Epic.
I'm really hoping it works out, man, because that would be just awesome to have that conversation with them guys.
Oh yeah, especially live too. It'd be oh yeah. Be super hyped. Yeah.
So huge fingers crossed. So, but all right, guys, I'm going to put links to all of Tony's stuff down in the description below. His Instagram, his YouTube channel. Definitely make sure you guys head on over, go check him out. And make sure you guys stay tuned for more episodes of Tales of a Star Wars Fan coming out here very soon. So, with that being said, you guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.